Howdy folks, welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm over here in the valley and I've got a little bit of a start to a starter base, I guess, again. Got some manufacturing set up. I made myself a little basic hab. I spent all day yesterday in game building this out. So we've got a battery, we've got some power, got a couple turrets. The wolves have already found us. Got a couple wolves killed so far. And then I've got just a basic manufacturing platform here. So we can make the materials we need to make the farm. So pretty basic. We're going to suck in ore and got a couple cargo containers, refinery, assembler with 2 speed modules. Got the survival kit moved over here to the base and then an O2H2 so I can make some hydrogen. Speaking of, let's get that charged up. Then around on the other side, I do have a food processor, so I've been cooking up the wolf meat. And we're ready to process some other stuff. I did finally find some wheat. Yes, it does exist on this planet. I went zooming around the valley here with my jetpack and looking around. I found 1 grain. So we're going to plant that and get some seeds. We'll build up our seed stock. I went ahead and turned the fruit. I had a bunch of fruit. I wanted to turn the fruit and veggies into seeds. And actually, I thought I had more fruit. Yeah, there it is. It's in the processor itself. And I've got a good stock of wolf meat. And of course, I brought a lot of the kelp crisps with us. So we're good on food for a while. Went ahead and got some ice off the lake. So we had some of that to make hydrogen. And then we'll need that to make water once we get the farm going. But to build the farm... I want to make a pretty good sized farm. I want to have automated harvesting. We're going to need a lot of materials. So to that end, I'm going to use a tiny miner to get started. So that's a little automated mining ship. I hesitate to call it a ship. It's a drill with some engines on it. If you saw some of my previous series, you've seen tiny miner before. But it uses PAM, the script. Is it Path Auto Miner, I think, is what it stands for. Anyway, it's a nice little script. It lets you mine and transport and stuff. It works really, really well. So I've got that all set up. Let's turn the projector on. So yeah, there it is. That is the tiny miner. Like I said, it's a drill, a battery, a cargo container, and some engines. And then just the little bits and bobs you need to make it a ship. So if I grab myself some steel plate, I do have steel plate. I thought this would see the connector and let us weld that, but I guess it doesn't. So I'm going to have to bring small grid out. I do have plenty of the steel plates, so we're going to have to bring this out and over. I was thinking you could weld to the connector. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I'm just a little rusty on the old Space Engineers. It's okay. So if we build this out, let's come up to. It's getting a little crazy because it sees the other size grid there. Then if we just come over like that. There we go. Now we can see how it's a little brighter in the hologram. Now we can weld that up. Nope. Why you don't want to weld up? Because you're not perfectly aligned? You should be aligned because I built off of the same thing that the gyro is aligned to. Let me set the projector to show only buildable. Yeah, it shows that as buildable. Oops. Oh, it doesn't show as buildable. Weird. Okay, let me figure out the projector thing and I'll be back. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. I finally got it to recognize that it was connected to the cargo container. And got that going. So let's go ahead and make this a little easier. I'm going to throw one of those down. I can just run up here. So we'll build a cargo container, then we can build off of that. If I can get the connector going, then we can connect up and should be good. Uh-oh. So we're going to need lots of stuff here. There we go. Set that up so I can run back and forth. Get the connector going, get the battery going. We can get it charged while we build the rest of it. This is kind of the MVP, the minimum viable product for a miner. And it does work quite well. So let me see if I can do that. And then if I grind off that, then we can maybe get the connector going. Does it think it's too close? Or I'm still not sure what's going on with the connector. I don't know why it doesn't want to build that. We'll see if we can build this and then build the connector back in place. Maybe that'll work. Sometimes you gotta trick space engineers. Alright, let's go get the rest of the parts for that. And then I know I'm gonna need, was there two or three thrusters all around? So let's go to thruster, and I want the atmospheric thruster small grid version. I think we have at least 6. So I'll go ahead and get that into production. So it can be chugging away on those parts. Alright, got that going, got that going. There we go. Now if we do the switch lock. Now we're locked in, it should start charging that battery. So a little bit of, you know, fiddling around is required. Alright, let's get these 3 engines. Oh no, are we out of something? Are we out of nickel? I thought I had enough stuff. No, we are out of nickel indeed. And we've got plenty of silicon. We're just out of nickel. Alright, I might have to go mine some nickel. Let's get what we got in here. I did bring all of the metal from the other base. Okay, it looks like that is that. And yeah, we're out of stuff. Alright, I'm going to go mine some nickel and I'll be back. Alrighty, been welding away. Crunching away on some nickel. I think I've got everything tagged up to be built. So I believe I can detach. Let's just double check here. Yeah, it turned its... no, it... Yeah, it looks like it's in the state where there's nothing left to be built. Projector... Yeah, alright, it's done. So we can turn that off. And then we can get rid of this guy because it's locked to the connector. I've got everything queued up to be built, so we should be good there. Alright, we'll leave that there. I may want to build more of these as we go. We got left on, let's see, the drill's done. I think we're mostly just building motors. Oops, let's go see what we got here. You done, you done. Sensor is done. Just waiting on nickel, I think, to get these motors finished up. Cannot withdraw 7 construction components. I think that's leftovers. Oh, no. Atmospheric thruster takes those. Alright. Okay, so we got that knocked out. Let's get the rest of these queued up. So you need some stuff. You need some stuff. You need some stuff. You need stuff. You need stuff. Alright, I think that is it. So let's throw all that in the queue. And then, yeah, we're going to need a bunch of nickel. How are we doing on nickel? We're still chugging through it. It refines a little slow, at least in the basic refinery. I think we're going to have enough. I just made a couple jetpack trips over to there. And we're good to go. But there's iron, nickel, and cobalt over there, so that's going to be a good hole to dig. And then I'm going to have this guy bring back stone, so we'll get a bunch of silicon and nickel from that as well. So once I get the tiny miner done, I'm just going to turn him loose and then just let him go and mine, and get some parts built up. And then next episode, we'll start building out the farm. And I've got a few ideas on how to auto-harvest. Not sure which one I'm going to go with yet, so I'll be thinking about that. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. I heard the guns go off while I was off camera there. So we killed a wolf somewhere. I've been cheating a little bit. If we go turn the grass... Or no, not that one. Density. Come on. There we go. Then sometimes we can spy where the wolf was. Wolfie. Is that a wolfie? Is that a bush? That's a bush. Where was the wolfie? Sometimes even doing this, I can't find them. I wonder if there's a mod that marks their bodies. I do have the turret set to 600 meters, so they may have shot it way out in the distance. Yeah, I don't see Mr. Wolfie, so that one's just gone. Maybe I should turn the distance back. I'm not sure. Alright, let's go back to high. How are we doing on parts? Ooh, it says they've all successfully withdrawn. So let's get back up here. You can see the little script there is waiting for us. See if this will get us all done. I think we're all good except for this guy. There we go. I think that's it. We've got the sensor, we've got all the computer parts, the gyro. Yeah, I think we're good to go. I need to connect to him and make sure everything's working right. Let's drop a save right before we do that. And if I go to Shift K, yeah, there we are. Control. Beautiful. There's all the stuff. So in theory, if I unlock, yeah, it looks like he's flying. And then that's less than 500 meters away, so I should be able to just take control of him and do stuff. Let's get back on the dock so he knows where this dock is. Redo that. Let's get snugged right up against it. There we go. Okay, go back into the camera view. Now, if you haven't seen this pan before, basically it has a menu. You set up your keys so you can go up and down and apply on the menu. Uh-oh, it's not working. We go into programmable block. I might have to recompile. Looked like maybe it was not updating the screen. Yeah, it's not updating the screen for some reason. Here you can see on here it's down. Let me go make sure the transparent LCD doesn't have the PAM tag on it. There it goes. My blueprint had a little bit of a mistake, so it needs to have the PAM tag in it so it knows which screen to draw on. Now we're good to go. Alright, so we're going to record path and set home. So I'm going to hit apply. Now we can undock, come out a little bit, and then we'll go up over the trees. Then we will come down over here. And apparently I went just out of range. My bad. I thought it was 500 meters. Maybe it's 200 meters. And where's the iron? So the iron is right over here. So I want to set up a job so we're over here. Alright. Small grid control, and while I'm thinking about it, we're going to change this to tiny miner 1. Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring him over. I want him basically right on top of me. Like that. Let's go back into the camera view. I'm going to say stop path recording. Then I'm going to get out of the way. Oh, there is a tree here. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, now I want to set up a mining job. So I need to go back into control of him. And I'm going to go to the screen. And we're going to say set up mining job. It's got some defaults in here. 8.4, 8.4. The depth. How deep? I think it was only about 20 meters deep. I think it was like 13 or 15 down. So let's change the depth to 20 meters. Actually, now that I think about it. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Let's leave that at 30. I believe the depth mode, it goes down until it senses ore. Let's cycle through these. Auto ore, there it is. That's the one I want. So it'll go a minimum of 30 meters, and once it finds ore, it knows. Once it goes through the ore and gets to stone again, I think that's when it stops going down. So we'll do an 8x8 square and go down to the iron. That'll give us lots of stone. And yeah, I think that's it. So we go up to start new job, apply. There we go. We'll let Tiny Miner do his thing. Make sure he's going to get back to base okay. He is a tiny miner. Actually, while I'm here in control, let's go to the control panel. Yeah, I'm going to reset the prefix on these. I keep forgetting to turn off the encounters. Alright, so I'm going to say reset name, and then we're going to prefix TM1. Then everything's all prefixed up. You're not full of stone yet? So he'll fill the cargo container and the connector. Oh yeah, he's just about full. There he goes. Then he'll follow his path back over to base. I've got the sorter over there set to pull ore, which includes stone and ice, so it should pull that all out of him, and he'll go back over and he'll just keep on mining. Very handy script. It's on the Steam Workshop PAM. I think it's Path Auto Miner, something like that is what that stands for. Search for PAM, P-A-M, you should find it. And he should come over here, flip around, dock up. And you can do this with all the built-in stuff, it just won't work nearly as well. That should pull everything out. He'll make sure his batteries are charged. If we want to see what he's doing, we can come over here and look at the screen. The load is 37%. Battery's at 30%. So he's going to sit here for a while and charge. Is he actually charging? See, why isn't it pulling the stuff out? And it definitely pulled some stone out. Oh, it did. I guess the load was... Maybe the load is thruster load? Ah. That's not the, how much is loaded. I think that's how much it can haul, basically. Why isn't the battery charging, though? That's weird. Let's go. As far as I know, it... Oh, I untagged the LCD, didn't I? Derp. When I reset the names. So it hasn't updated, that's why. There it goes. Battery is charging. I just hadn't tagged the LCD, so it didn't update. So you can see state charging batteries. He's just going to sit there and go. It shows you the progress of the mining job. Very, very cool script. And now we should be getting lots of stuff in here to get refined. Let's go get refilled. We need to eat some food, too. I think let's just hop in here. This will be quicker. I can eat some food. That's called meat, right? Indeed. Oh, we can't pull through because I'm on the other side of the connector that pulls ore out. No problem. We'll throw some of this in the rover, so if I'm out exploring, I'll have plenty of food. For all those extra components in there. So yeah, we're in good shape now. We go look at the refinery. It's still working on that nickel. I'm going to go ahead and throw the stone in front. We'll also get some nickel from that. But we're building up all our stocks. We'll need quite a bit of silicon because I plan to make like a greenhouse to protect it from storms and such. Because we're high O2 and warm here, but when the storm comes through, I believe that can change. I forgot to look. It was storming yesterday in game, and I forgot to pay any attention. So once I get the farm up and going, I'm going to have at least one more of these tiny miners, and it's going to go to the lake and bring ice back to the farm. So I'll make another connector at some point and move this guy to that one. And then I can use the projector again to do that. I'm going to turn that off, turn that off. And I think that'll do it for this episode. I'm going to let him mine, like I said, and get some materials built up, so we can just chug along and get the farm built out next episode. I think I see a berry bush. Indeed. More berries for the picking. And I am going to grow some other stuff, mostly for us to eat. But the main thing we need to grow is wheat. And we're going to build up a huge wheat stock. And then we might look into taking that up to an orbital station or something as, you know, just something to do. I like to have a theme for a series, some kind of end goal. So the goal is to grow lots of wheat. And I might make a secondary goal of getting that up to an orbital station so HQ can come get it. But anyway, that'll do it for this one, folks. Thanks as always for watching. We're going to be farming here in this awesome valley. I hope to see you back again in the next episode. Take care.